To my YouTube channel, where each and every week I interview players one-on-one. And the cool thing about it is I always say I work for the fans. So I always take questions from you guys, ideas from you all, and I put that into my interviews with these players every week. And something very fun at the end of the interview is I do an activity like Office Olympics, just something really fun. And I don't always win, but that's not the point. Just so you guys can get the chance to see these players as people, not just as guys with helmets on running around on Sundays. It's really cool. So if I have your interest, please click subscribe to my YouTube channel and let me know what you think. All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Game day weeks, what are we at now? Week 6. Carolina Panthers are facing the Chicago Bears here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Today, I am Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe. I want to thank you for tuning in this morning for the pregame show. And also special shout out and welcome to the Panthers Nation group from Instagram that I've partnered with recently to get some more content out there. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. And more worship, good morning. What's going on? So, hey, as always, a few things that we're going to get out the way really quickly is to like this channel, like this video. That is the easiest way to show support and help other Carolina Panthers fans find out about the show. Feel free to subscribe as well or turn on the bell notification so that you can take part in all of the live shows that I do. I like to say I am the man of the people. I like to work directly for my supporters and viewers. So if you have questions about the Panthers, you want to ask the players, ask the coaches, leave the comments below. This is an interactive show. So I'm also going to do something new starting today. I want to ask at the top of the show for everybody to start leaving their comments about their predictions for the game today, as well as why you make the predictions that you have made. So let's go ahead and get into today's show, where I like to talk about a lot of little interesting things to get you prepared for this matchup today. And as always, let's go ahead and start with a few transactions that have taken place that will shape the 53-man roster for today's game. So let's go ahead and bring that up. All right, so we've had quite a few things that happened this week with players getting placed on injured reserve. I've already talked about that earlier in the week, so I'm not going to go through that. But we'll just talk about the current changes. So activated to the active roster. So these are guys that are upgraded from the practice squad or that were on the injured reserve and now are on the active roster. That would have been defensive tackle Woodrow Hamilton. Imagine that's going to be something that was done to try to compensate possibly for K'Wan Short. Defensive end Austin Larkin. And then wide receiver Keith Kirkwood, who you feel like Keith Kirkwood might have been activated just in case Curtis Samuel can't go today. That inactive list will be coming out shortly, so I'll be sure to put that on the screen before we're done with the show this morning. All right. So again, the Carolina Panthers are up against the Chicago Bears today. Carolina Panthers are 3-2 after winning last week, 23-16 over the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of people didn't think this team would be over 500 this quick. I am one of them, but I'm also one of the people that is extremely excited that this team is over 500. Look forward to today's matchup against the Bears. The Bears are 4-1 after beating I know you're happy about this. Last week they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which helped us get into this first place tie that we're currently in. They beat the Bucs 19-20 last week. I think that was on Thursday Night Football. I would like to say what's up, but I can't tell what this handle is for the comment. But hey, I appreciate the comments. I appreciate interaction. Don't just watch this show. Talk to me. I want to work for you guys. So I appreciate it. Oh, forgot to say, I'm an independent media supported 100% by viewers. So super chats are always welcome, whether it's 50 cents, whether it's $1. I'm supported by you guys. That's why I work so hard to make sure that I get questions answered that you guys want me to ask players and coaches. All right. So let's go ahead and continue to get into this morning show. See what we got up next for you guys. We already showed that. So let's go ahead and go into some few interesting facts that I like to go over each week, all right? As we head into this game, Teddy Bridgewater is continuing to have a great season. He's currently second in the NFL in completion percentage with a 73% completion rate. He also has 1,460 yards, fifth most in the NFL. And this game today I think it's going to be a good game. Again, leave your comments below on who you think is going to win and why. But Teddy Bridgewater, a lot of people were upset when Cam Newton started out well, but Teddy Bridgewater is certainly proven himself to be a valuable option and replacement to Cam Newton here in Carolina. Continuing on, Robbie Anderson, another new acquisition. He's doing extremely well, having his best, on pace to have his best NFL season by far. He's currently ranking third in the NFL with receiving yards. And how many yards does he have? I know I didn't put that on there. Sorry, I didn't include how many yards that he has. I think, though, he's been averaging close to 100 yards a game. So I'm going to guess, sorry, I didn't put the exact number up there, that he's close to 400 yards per game. I'm sorry, total right now in the season. DJ Moore, let's not forget about him, as this team is shaping up to have an extremely good 1-2 punch, because DJ Moore ranks second in the league, averaging 17.3 yards per catch. All right. And did you see that catch last week against the Atlanta Falcons where he ran down the sidelines? He didn't look extremely fast. I mean, granted, he looked fast, but I got an interesting stat about that catch that I want to share with you guys. That was the fastest ball carrier speed recorded. You've seen these next-gen stats, things that they'll do. DJ Moore was clocked at 21.52 miles per hour last week. The fastest last week again, and the fourth fastest of the season. So DJ Moore's like, hey, he probably doesn't mind not being the talk of the town, and because he's putting up some good numbers and still doing extremely well for this team right now. And let's not forget about, again, another new acquisition. This team has so many new faces, which is why it's so surprising, but I'm happy that they're 3-2. Typically, when you have so many new pieces all over the field, you're going to have a moment that it takes for everything to come together. But this team's coming together well. Over the last 3 weeks, running back Mike Davis ranks third in the NFL in scrimmage yards with 351, sixth in rushing yards with 219. I'm not done yet. Third in rushing yards after contact with 110, and second in receptions by a quarterback with 22. So, hey, you gotta love this team. So, yes, the inactive list has already come out. I'm going to go into detail about that a little bit later, but I will say that Curtis Samuel is out for today, but I'll be going through that complete list at the end of the show. It's not a long show, so I'll be able to have that full list for everybody here shortly. But I appreciate my watchers being on top of all the news that's coming out. And I'm going to interact with you guys. So, hey, keep those comments coming. I'd like to go through all the things that I have laid out for you guys now, and then certainly go over all the comments that are listed here. And then, what's impressive about this team is that on the offense, you got all those yards and performance by Mike Davis. We've had 8 offensive linemen get some action in these past 3 weeks. So you have Christian go out, you got 8 different linemen, and you're still having productivity. That says a lot about this team from top to bottom, from coaches to the way that they practice to the players themselves. And, they have no sacks that they've given up, those 8 different linemen. That's certainly going to be tested today. But nevertheless, let's keep on going through some more things that I have going on here that I like to share with you guys each week. Let's check out how this team is doing across the NFL with rankings in terms of their current positions for their offensive and defensive side. So give me just a second here. Let's first go ahead and cover the offensive side, all right? We're doing good on offense, man. If you haven't noticed, we're doing pretty good on offense. Total net yards per game, we have 399. So we are currently ranking 6th in that area. Sacks allowed, again, I'm going to go into this in just a second, but it's going to be tested today. Certainly going to be tested today by this defensive-minded Chicago Bears. We've only allowed 8, which is 10th in the NFL in rankings. And then our third down efficiency is 49.2, and that is good enough for sixth place overall. Now, Curtis Samuel is a very, very big reason why we have that ranking. He's been outstanding on third down catches so far this season. Let me see if I can get my graphics right so you guys can know who I am. But Curtis Samuel is a big reason why, since this winning streak has begun, he is currently third in the league with receptions on third down. Now, I already mentioned he's going to be out today, so we're going to obviously have to fill that void by somebody else, whether it's Keith, I forget his last name because he just got signed. What was it, Keith? And I took it away. But we're going to have to find a way to replace that today. And I feel like this team has certainly had the coaching and the personnel to make that happen. So I'm not worried. All right, let's keep on going through this list here. Actually, I just forgot where I was, but now I remember. So let's keep on going through this list. Let's talk about this defensive side here. So on the defensive side, we don't have a lot of top 10 rankings yet, but we are getting better and better on the defensive side. But currently, we are fourth in passing net yards per game with 222. So that is fourth in passing with 222 per game. All right, so that is a lot of the stats that I wanted to share with you guys. And now at this point, I want to go ahead and look at some of these comments and go over this because this is an interactive show. All right, just got a message, but I don't know what that means, but I'm going to keep going. So all right, let's look at some of these comments here. Let's see. How has the pass rushers been for Chicago this season? I know all eyes on Mack, which will leave other players like Hakeem Hicks and Robert Quinn single match. So yeah, this Chicago Bears defense is pretty strong, and particularly against the rush. That's their strongest part, is against the rush. They're a little bit vulnerable on the rush, but on the pass they're pretty good, and they've been getting better. You know, and Khalil Mack is certainly the standout guy to watch on this side, and he has been improving. He's been improving each week. So that streak that we currently have with 0 sacks in 2 games, obviously is going to end at some point, but it's certainly going to be challenged today by this Bears defense. And, you know, fortunately, this offensive line, like I just read earlier, they've had 8 offensive linemen that's been able to do good. So they may need some help with Khalil Mack. They may change and try to go away from him. Who knows? I've been excited about what this team has been doing so far. So we'll see exactly how that pans out. And can Moton hold up one-on-one with Mack? Yeah, I mean, certainly Khalil Mack has the potential to be disruptive. And I forget who it was last week against the Falcons. Was it Moton? But I know it was someone on the left-hand side that was starting to have some troubles, but they were able to tighten that up. I hadn't went back at the film and see what they did to tighten that up. But again, I feel like this team, they're so good right now because they're coached so well, they're managed so well. And if Khalil Mack starts to shine, then I feel like they're going to do something to fix it. What, I don't know. I'm not a coach, but I'll be here to talk about what they did do after the game to let you guys know as I break down the games, which is a reminder. After the game, I do go live again. That'll be after I have a chance to talk with coaches and players. Since this COVID thing is happening, everything happens via Zoom. So though I'm not at the stadiums like I always am, like I miss being, I still have access to the players and coaches. Excuse me, we'll go live and go into that after the game. So I invite you to make sure you turn on your notifications and join me afterwards. And let me go through a few more comments here. Yeah, that speed of DJ Moore, what did I say? It was 21 point something. Yeah, that was fast. That was pretty fast. All right, so let me continue on. Again, leave any questions or comments. Love to interact. That's why I do this, to be quite honest with you. I want to have a media outlet where I really connect fans to a media person, which then works for you guys to get the questions and answers you want. And I've been enjoying it, so I hope that you are as well. Something interesting I always like to talk about as well are the notable connections, right? Players who have either played for the Panthers or played for the Bears that are today on the field. Not a lot. Today we got Mike Davis, who's probably the biggest one, right? He played for the Bears, and we were able to pick him up. I think they cut him basically, and yeah, we didn't trade for him. We're able to get Mike Davis. So, you know, Coach Rule teaches these guys quite well to not just go against like bulletin board material and not get overhyped about a matchup and just focus on going 1-0 each week. Mike Davis is a guy that already plays with a lot of enthusiasm. I think last week after the game and talking to the press, he used words like, I don't know, man. He's like, I'm just pissed off when I'm out there. And he said it so calmly, but obviously if you look at the way that he plays, he obviously has some mental place that he goes when he's playing the game, because he runs over people extremely well, extremely well. So, and then on the other side, Chicago Bears has wide receiver return specialist Ted Ginn, who had actually 2 stints with the Carolina Panthers, and he's now on the Chicago Bears roster. All right, so my voice is starting to go on me. That really will cover a lot of what I had to talk about today. My voice is starting to go, so I'm gonna get out of here unless anybody has anything that they want to ask me before I get out of here. Again, for me, things to watch today: Khalil Mack, how are we going to be able to stop him and hopefully continue to keep our streak of getting Teddy Bridgewater clean. Also on the defensive side, on the defensive side, they're going to have to look out on the Bears offense for Nick Foles. I believe, in my opinion, that his favorite target has been Allen Robinson on the offensive side. So Nick Foles likes to do a lot of short things, and our defense has been pretty good at not allowing anything deep. So look for Nick Foles and his favorite target, Allen Robinson, that he wants to connect with, that we'll have to watch on the defensive side that's on the Chicago Bears offense. And yeah, that concludes it for today. Appreciate everybody watching. Let me see another few questions here that I really can't get into about some other things. But hey, I almost forgot. So let me go ahead and end with the inactives list for today's game. All right, so give me just a second while I bring this one up and get it on the screen for you. Should take me just a quick second. As I get ready to bring this up for you. Again, this is going to be the inactives for today. All right, here we go. Got it up for you guys. All right, inactives for today. Quarterback Will Grier. Wow, he's not been inactive for a while. So that means good old look, I almost forget his name. Is it PJ Walker? Yeah, yeah, I almost forget because the guy hasn't been active for so long. But that means PJ Walker is going to be active today for the Carolina Panthers. Curtis Samuel, he's going to be out today. And I touched on earlier that could certainly going to have to change things up a little bit because he's been such a good third down guy for us. Cornerback Eli Apple, which has really struggled all season to stay on the field. Guard Dennis Daly, and then Woodrow Hamilton is not too surprising. He was just activated. I'm sure trying to figure out what they may do on that line, defensive line, and he is inactive for today. So just wanted to share with you before we get out of here. Those are the inactives. So again, appreciate you watching. Hit the like button, show some support for the channel, help other Carolina Panthers fans discover the channel, and I'll see you approximately 2 hours after the game. But if you want to make sure that you don't miss it, just hit that bell notification. That way you'll get the alert and you'll be able to join me live. I am Chris Jenkins for Charlotte Vibe. Let's go Panthers.